So I'm going to show you guys what training the reverse engine looks like and how it can lead to injuries like tearing your ACL. So we've got this football player squatting heavy weight. We already see a wide stance, right? Feet are crooked. But the more important part as we're looking at this is watch his knees collapse in as he starts to push the weight up, right? And this would be called the reverse engine here. So in GOATA, what we would want is knees out, and then you're going to finish with the knees in. And you might be thinking, well, his knees do come in, right? So isn't that GOATA? No, it's not, especially with the position of his feet. But as he actually completes the lift, his knees go back to pointing outside instead of inward like you would see in GOATA. So this just shows you, the squat right here shows you what we are neurologically telling our bodies to do under a lot of force or pressure, right? So when you're playing your sport or whatever and you're planting really hard and there's a lot of force generated, you're teaching your body to do this, collapse inside and then push off on it, right? So we're going to see this same relationship where the knees are inward. They're way in past the feet, right? We're going to see this relationship with some injuries that I'm going to show. All right, first up is Odell. Here he injured his ACL, his left ACL. So let me adjust the camera real quick. There we go. So here he is, right? First things first. Heel strike. Move a couple frames. Bam. Inside ankle bone low, right? That sock line or cleat line, I guess you would say. It's flat. Now, his leg is pretty straight and extended in this position, right? So right about here, his knee is pointing about that direction. And then we see the movement complete itself where his knee collapses inside, right? Now it's pointing over there. His knee is more inside than his foot is. Bam, even worse. And that's how you hurt your ACL. Just like that. And lastly, we got Jamal Murray. Now, this camera angle is just what's really good. So, he tore his left ACL, and here's why. We can see right off the bat, right? Let me back up right there. That heel strike. Same thing. Heel strike. His knee is already inside. So, he's already got like a reverse bow going on basically, but as he plants, you'll see, he's inside ankle bone low here, but we go even a couple more frames. Bam, look at that, inside ankle bone low, big time. Now the other thing, we're in the same position as that squat, right? So things are collapsing inside, that knee's pointing over here, his knees collapsed inside past the foot. That just shows you it much more worse. And then that's how he tore his ACL. Super unfortunate. So just for reference of what we are looking for, at least when we're moving, I'm not talking about doing a squat like in that first video, but what I'm trying to show really is the relationship of the knee and how conventional training, has us going one way And then you look at the greatest of all times, like Michael Jordan, who shows us it should actually be the other way. So he's going for a dunk, plants right here, his knees out, right? What we saw on those other athletes was the knee pointing in. But this left foot's even better. So he plants his inside ankle bone high. His knee starting to point out. It'll get even better once I go frame. Right there's pointing out right here. It's really good. And I mean, he just shows us, what that relationship looks like. And I mean, he sets a really good bow too with that left leg. Super nice. And that's how you don't injure yourself, And he shows us right here. And that's what happens.